Hello, my name is Romina, and together with Soledad Silvero, Gabriela Miele, Natalia Cabrera, Daniela Morales, and Yesica Reco, we form group number 5, and we're going to talk about types of discourse. A discourse is a way of thinking, culturally or institutionally conditioned, legitimated by communities, often those with power, which hold similar values, views, ideas, and ways of looking at the world. Discourses shape and are shaped by different meanings. In general, any written or spoken communication are part of them, and although discourse can refer to the smallest act of communication, the analysis can be quite complex. Several scholars in many different disciplines have theorized about different types and function of them. Each type of discourse has specific features, and in this video we'll try to explain the main 5 types of it: descriptive, expository, argumentative, persuasive, and narrative. Some authors, such as Gramley, Grames and Curtis, Robin Lakoff, and Blair and Johnson, were taken into account.
According to Grames and Curtis, descriptive discourse tells what things are like according to the 5 senses. A descriptive essay or a descriptive passage in a story tells how things look, sound, feel, taste, and smell. Nouns and adjectives can show what a person, place, or thing are like in their material aspects. But description often tries to do more than to enable readers to visualize characters, settings, and actions. It may also try to evoke a mood or atmosphere, and this is aided by the use of simile and metaphor. An effective piece of descriptive writing is comprised of 5 elements. These 5 elements are sensory details, figurative language, dominant impression, language, and careful organization. As in narration, description can be fictional.
According to Gramlin, expository text purpose is to explain, inform, or clarify. This kind of writing are often required to write essays explaining the subject matter in various academic disciplines. It is also used to write some non-fiction and different academic reports. In its pure form, expository writing is intended to be factual and unbased. If there is any opinion or conclusion in expository writing, it should be based on factual evidence. Similarly, a research report might suggest that smoking tobacco is harmful to people's health after it has presented factual information. This information should be presented clearly and logically, so readers can follow and easily understand it. As general language features, it is important to include adverb of stance, discourse markers for concession, modal verbs for necessity and suggestion, and include technical vocabulary. The examples of expository text, there would be news reports, essays, the analytical and reflective ones, and also we have autobiographies and biographies.
According to Franz van Imeren, argumentation uses language to justify or refute a standpoint with the aim of securing agreement in use. An adequate theoretical approach should have something to say about both the process of argumentation and the arguments produced in that process. Aristotle's logic identified patterns that could lead from statements already known to be true to other statements whose truth was yet to be established. These patterns are formed by premises and a conclusion. The conclusion states a relation between the categories in the premises. If the premises are true, the conclusions cannot be false. For example, all spacemen have helmets. Curtis does not have a helmet. Therefore, Curtis is not a spaceman.
According to Robin Lakoff, persuasive discourse is a type of discourse that non-reciprocally attempts to effect persuasion. By persuasion, he means the attempt or intention of one participant to change the feeling, behavior, or point of view of another by communicative means. Types such as advertising, propaganda, political, rhetoric, and religious sermons clearly fall into this category. Persuasive devices are vital to understand that the reader or listener accepts a particular point of view. According to Brett Lamb, some examples of persuasive devices are alliteration, the repetition of words that start with the same letter to create emphasis. Appeals, writers often appeal to different emotions. They also use anecdotes, colloquial language, emotive language, exaggerations, cliches, although these are preferable to avoid. Repetition, among others. Finally, there are three strategies of persuasion: ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos means to convince an audience by the author's credibility or character. Pathos means to persuade an audience by appealing to their emotions. And logos means to convince an audience to the use of logic or reason.
Narration. The main goal of narrative writing or speaking is usually to tell a story, often in order to make the audience feel differently about a certain topic. Narratives might take the form of a play, a novel, a folk tale, or a myth. It can be fiction or non-fiction, and it is usually a description of a single person or from the character's perspective and tends to be very descriptive. It contains several features, for example, point of view, characters, setting, plot, conflict, and resolution.
In summary, descriptive type tells how things look, sound, smell, feel, and taste. Expository type informs, explains, or clarifies. Argumentative type uses language to justify or refute a standpoint. Persuasive type intends to change the behavior, feeling, or point of view of another by communicative means. And narrative type helps the reader be able to engage their imagination so they can picture the events which are occurring within the story.